check it out. We're on a quest for treasure and we're on a little creek. We'll do some rock hounding and some exploring around. I've never been on this one before. Or maybe during different stretches of it down in the valley, but this is climbed up into the mountains with the vehicle and then dropped over the edge and hiked up just a little ways down to the water. Well, let's go upstream a little bit and look around. It's 102 degrees today. I'm using a new setting on the camera. I set it on its super highest setting recording, so let me know if you can tell if it's any sharper. We're already shooting in high quality. I think now it might be even better because I set it to what says highest quality. And see this, what I was trying to point out is across the way here. There's a road that we followed down. I don't know if you can make it out there. It's really old, it hasn't been used for a long time. Comes down, crosses this creek, heads off over here, and I just followed it for a while to make sure that I knew where it was going. And it just follows the creek level on down. Now the new modern road is carved with tractors on the mountainside up there. So this is an old fording spot. So I think that maybe we'll come back here sometime and just swing the detector around to see what's here. What I noticed next is out of this mountainside, there's all these square rocks are breaking, which is normal, you know. They can form in layers and then break really square, but I wanted you to look up at this with me because I see little round things sticking out of it. So we'll try and cross the water here. Just a broken down castle falling out of the hill? I don't think so. See the little round things trapped in it? Here's one here. Looks like it fell out. What are you? Man, what perfect building blocks though, huh? That one could almost hallucinate chisel marks on. Here's one of the round things trapped in it. A couple more caught my eye from clear over there. Oh yeah, they're up on the hill there. They look like tongue marks on a big old inking block, but I'm doubting it. I think we just have natural stone that's all fractured up here. Unless it really is a lost castle from some other time. It's buried deep in a hillside where there supposedly isn't any prehistory though, so it could get easily overlooked. Okay, moving on. It's always good to check the top of these massive rocks. This one probably hasn't moved far from where it's sat. Also, the lee side of it here where all this gravel is piled up. Great place to look around. See what kind of gems are in the dirt. I think we'll take a sample of this and look at it under the microscope for sure. Because that looks exactly like gem gravels from Montana that would have sapphires and garnets and everything in it. You'll walk right by them unless you stop and look and dig down a little bit. And they're heavier than the rest, so hardly ever will they just be sitting on the surface looking at you. They're generally on the bottom of the gravel. So hopefully I finished that thought. In case I didn't, this is what we're looking for on the top of this is grinding holes. Now there's a lot of holes that are made on the top of rocks by water because the rock sits there and gets trapped and swirls around. But it's also a great spot to do your grinding. Smaller rocks get moved around a lot by the river. Even these, by smaller I mean the car-sized ones. We're on this massive creature here. I'm actually curious about that one. We have oaks around us. We are on top of a big old rock. And it is round enough, but not too deep. And it even looks like there's a secondary, which I find a lot next to it. Note though that this rock has what probably would have been bubbles and pockets in it naturally that have been worn out. So on this particular stone, it would be really hard to say for sure that that was a grinding bowl, but its location, you'd probably go for a mile along here and not find. Well, there's one there. See, pools can tend to stay where they are for a while. I'm going to bring you to another site soon where, you know, it's obvious that they're grinding bowls, and there's about 20 of them on top of it, and it's a rock just like this. You can see that there's another one there. You always want to check those because they end up staying for a very long time. The pools of water by them end up staying for a long time. Everything can move around, but yeah, the location is right for that. The type of, we'll call it usable geology is right. The location is right. We climbed up here and we found some dents. I'm actually looking over here and I want to see if that bowl there on the top hasn't been remade and reused. See, there's natural pockets in the stone, but that flat area sure looks perfect. Let's go climb over there and take a look. And remember that once again, there's the ford of a road that probably hasn't been used for 100 years. And roads tend to follow animal trails and Native American trails, and Native Americans tend to follow animal trails, and it works out like that. So right here by where a trail, a path, humans have crossed this creek many times for whatever reasons. There's a reason why a road comes through here and it heads off. Geology has forced everything many times to the point where it got all the way up to where it's a road. Now they have tractors, so they carve along wherever they want. So right by this crossing and the funny looking tree, I'm not going to say that that's an old sign. Say that. Upon editing this, I wanted to stop and pause and put this note in there. The creek right here has this fording and this crossing point because right beyond this, about 20 more feet, the creek splits into 3 different paths, 3 different channels, and it's almost impassable. The road crosses the creek, and the single spot, which could be considered the trunk of the tree, and then beyond that are the 3 channels, which are deep and look like they've always been there, and then the road goes on in its windy path up the other side. If you look at the tree carefully, that's almost represented there, and that's the exact point where you ford across. Coincidence? I don't know. And the funny looking tree, I'm not going to say that that's an old sign, are these big rocks in this pool. So it's not stretching it too far to assume that the white man was following a native path, and that the native path, where it crossed by the water, would have had some signs of usage. Look at that. I'm almost 100% on that. I can even see little peck marks on it. And picture them grinding and then washing it back, and look at the location to the water. I mean, That's not hard. And then there's the other one there. So we'll check all these big stones around here. And plus, I tell you what, 102-degree day, like it's always been up here. I go for a hike and I get pushed to the coolest area. I stumble down to it. Where's the closest area where I can get down into the cool around here? And I find that there's a crossroads there, that there's a, you know, an old fording spot. And then right by the biggest pool, by the fording spot, are a bunch of grindstone looking things. How flat that is too. I wish that I hadn't just done that with my hand. You can actually see a lighter gray right here, then over the edge. You see that all the way around? And it's actually really darn flat. You see that? So you know what that surface is? Like there's a plane here, and then it even bevels down here. Okay, here's the natural stone. And here's shaved off the lighter interior gray. There's like the UV stained outside. Here's another surface. This whole surface is planed down. That's from actual crushing work. Actually mashing it down into smaller pieces and then in here to grind it into the actual porridge. And then it would be kept wet in a basket and leached. So every day you leach out the bitter tannic acid and then let it sit in the water some more and then leach it out some more until it doesn't taste bitter anymore, and then you know the tannins are gone and it's an edible porridge. That's awesome though. This might be the start of another, but I guarantee you that flat surface there leading down into it, that's awesome. Okay. It's also a big old rock that hasn't moved for a long time. Let's keep looking. Somewhere right here, the stones are stashed too, by the base of one of these big trees where they were. But that's what I mean, picking them out from the rest of them would be hard to do. And they may not have even worried about that much every year, because there's a lot of them here. Okay, we are right behind this large rock that's in the center of the creek here, and around it is swirled everything and then hit a low pressure system, a low pressure spot. So light things have gotten stuck here, but also heavy things. So this is a nugget zone. It's a wall, like a huge ripple, and we're going to pull some sand out of here and look at it under the microscope and see the garnet, citrine, you know, the gem levels of it. That way we know if there's little ones, there's probably big ones, where we should come back and dig towards the bottom and sift them out and such. But first I thought I'd put you under and you can do a close-up look for me maybe and see what you see down there. So I've dug down a little bit and I let the water wash away a lot of the lights. Kind of made our own little sluice box here. Now I want you to take a look for me. flat surfaces too. Well, this is really cool and rare in my part of the world. It's a type of lava that cools into the long rectangular or octagonal, you know, like the causeway of the giants. You see the breaks in there? That is like really cool for me. You see it? Chunk, 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 chunk. See where other pillars have already broken out of it? That's what caught my eye. See that? And the next one, the next one. It's like the grain of the stone. That's not an old staircase. That's incredible. I didn't know we had that anywhere around here. Literally, that would break out like a hexagon pillar all the way down. You see the zigzag of it? Chunk, 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 chunk. That's a whole rock of it. So, on the side of Mount St. Helena, or the base of the side of Mount St. Helena, there's some of that. I'll try and look up the name. If I haven't, then somebody else help me out. And I'm sure you know what the name of it is. That's pretty cool. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Wow. I mean, all the rest of the stuff around here is rocky, but it doesn't look like that. I've never seen that stuff on this continent. Pretty cool. We've hiked up a little ways farther, and we're getting into some different looking rock, but this creek kind of climbs altitude as it goes upstream, so it gives us a chance to look down into each little pool. I'm seeing minnows and lots of life. Saw some crawdads. Nothing bigger so far, especially with me blathering on. There's a side creek coming in right here. This is a canyon forking into the one that we're on. So here's a chance for all of its minerals to have come out too, so we'll look really close because it's a chance to prospect two creeks. Although I smell something really bad. Ugh. Okay, I'll let you know if we find anything. These two baby trout are playing get each other's tail. Look how small they are. Don't you guys know there's birds and people hunting you? That's funny. Do you see that? Those are two little brook trout. I can see their little blunt noses and their little spots. Maybe they're fighting for territory right off the, oh, there's more of them. Maybe it's a mating thing. I am not sure. But they're being downright silly. They're about 3 inches long. Perfect eating size if you ever caught a brook trout and put it on a little stick. Sorry to be that way. Here's a little side canyon coming in here. It's obviously spring fed from somewhere up above. And it's just chugging away. Looks like it gets pretty steep and deep right there. Well, we've hiked back down. We're to the ford and I'm going to go up. You can see why they crossed right there. This is 3 channels. 1 channel, 2 channel, 3 channels. Which is pretty crazy. So the geology, see 1 creek, 2 creek, 3 creek, and they might join together, but at least for this part, this is high cobble, messed up stuff, and then above here the banks got really high like that one there. So this is the low spot, and then they followed a trough down here and crossed over about there and then up the road here. So that's a pretty cool little discovery. And then that was on top of probably the footpaths of the Native Americans with their little grinding spots. And we got to see a little bit of wildlife. And yeah, we're going to call this one a short, good little hike. No huge treasures or anything, but a good look around. I hope you enjoyed it. And we prospected another potential area to come back and look at again. And oh, here's a piece of rusted metal. What do we got? Right as I'm closing the video. Oh, there it is. It goes all the way around. See it? That's a piece of metal. Probably a barrel band or something crazy. I already fell in. We'll just go ahead and walk over here and grab the end of it. Well, this square bolts, this is a stick. But that is pretty darn thick for a barrel band, I tell you that. Anyhow, it's there. Maybe it's a piece of an old bridge or something that went across. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. Good likelihood that there's other things caught in this cobble. Until then, and probably somewhere else first, we will see you. I will see you. And I hope you'll join me there. You definitely give me the inspiration by watching the videos and coming along on the adventures with me, even vicariously. I appreciate it. You are the driving force of the quest for details. We'll see you next time.